What's up? It's Elijah Woods, and this is Young Entertainment Mag.
Hi, I'm Morgan from Young Entertainment Mag. It's so nice to meet you. When did you know that you wanted to make a career out of playing music?
I think as soon as I realized I had no other skills, I quickly realized when I turned maybe 14 or 15 that the school thing really wasn't for me, and I stuck it out for a while. I went to university for a second, and then I dropped out, and my parents were like, "What are you doing? This is crazy." And then I decided probably shortly after that that I was like, "This is what I have to do full time," and I started DJing and I was big into dance music for a minute, and then I got bored of that and started producing music. And it's one of those things where things kept working out for me, and I was like, okay, well, I better try this, and I better try this, and eventually that led me to singing, writing my own music, and it's just my favorite thing I've ever done. I don't think I could ever do anything else.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's so funny actually. I'm sure you have other skills, but
I don't know. I don't know. Nothing comparable to music, which like I mean, I think the piece that I like the most about music in general is like no matter how good you get at it, you can't really get great at it. Like there are obviously great musicians and great talents and great singers and whatever, and you can refine your skills and all that, but you can never be like a consistent, like incredible musician. Like you're gonna put out albums, you're gonna shitty songs, you're gonna have a bad show, whatever it is. It's like you can't get to a point where it's all just like absolutely locked in. And I love that progression. I love learning new skills, and I love like moving forward. And that's not to throw shade on any other musicians, because there are incredible musicians, incredible singers out there, but I think music is the only thing that is not for certain. There's so many certainties of like, okay, if I get good enough at this job, it will keep paying me. But like, you could be the world's most talented musician, and like nobody wants to hear your stuff anymore.
yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. Okay, what was it like the first time that you got on stage?
It was scary as hell. I'm currently on a headline tour right now, my first headline tour ever, and I feel very fortunate that I got a lot of reps in before this. I used to be in a duo, and we traveled and toured everywhere, so I got all those jitters out, both doing that and DJing before. So I had the practice of being in front of hundreds, if not thousands, of people, and I remember the first time I ever played a show, it was a DJ gig, and I threw up before, and I got on stage and I threw up, and then I tried to like drink after, which is not a good combination, because I was like, oh, my nerves are just crazy, and my stomach was just absolute slosh, and I was on the mic like just like trying to talk to people, and it was just so uncomfortable and just horrible. And all my family was like, oh, you did so good, it was so great, and I was like, this is a rave, what are you doing here? And it was really intimidating. I was like really, really scared, but I mean, I think it's something you have to go through. One of my good friends is opening up for me right now on tour. His name's Shamlo, and he's an awesome artist, but he's never performed live before. And it was wild watching him go through all the same things that I went through forever ago, 6, 7 years ago, and seeing that first experience and seeing that first thing, because it's such a good thing. Like those emotions and those like that excitement and nerves and I don't even know, like absolute despair of like, oh, I'm really gonna mess this up in front of a bunch of people. um I think it's so human, and I think it's so good, and I don't know, it probably sounds old and haggard, which I'm neither, but I just like I really love that, and I want more of that. So anytime I have the opportunity to like feel that again, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. I'm like an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy cool. It's like kind of, I guess, necessary for like character building and
Yeah, I
stuff.
just like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. That's like a big thing. I'm experiencing like a lot as somebody who's been doing this for a second, but like also very new at this whole singing thing. Is like I think you just gotta keep going and like doing things that make you uncomfortable, because otherwise the experience stops, and like that level of excitement will just sort of flatten out. So it's always just like, all right, what's the next thing? What's the next cliff I'm jumping off of? What's the next plane I'm jumping out of? Like what is that big jump? And that's what keeps me really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. How did you and Mackenzie Porter decide to collaborate together?
So she's like wildly talented and also Canadian, which is so cool. I didn't know that prior to all this, and I had been listening to her and Dustin Lynch have a song, and I'm a very recent country music fan, by the way. I grew up in a super small town, and I was like, hell no, like I'm not listening to this. Like I can't stand it. It's on everywhere I go, so I just absolutely rejected it. And then as I got more fluid in songwriting and understanding sort of like song structure and lyrics and just the contribution to the whole thing, I realized pretty quickly I was like, a lot of these songs are very smart. Like they're just absolutely incredible, and it's really difficult to make a song that is so simple and so catchy and so obvious but not cliche. And a lot of those songs are country music songs. So I really started getting into it, and I started listening to it, and I started appreciating a lot more in my like sort of mid 20s. And I decided I was like, I'm gonna try to make a country EP. So I went for it, and Bright Orange Everglow is that attempt. And as I was recording all the vocals for it, like I'd written all the songs, played all the guitar parts, played all the slide guitar parts. Like I do it all myself, so I was really like immersed in that world. And I was like, hell yeah, this is gonna be great. This is awesome. And I went to record the vocals, and I was like, shit, I don't have that country twang. Like I don't have that thing. It's like I'm just like a pop singer. So it's just like country, but me. And I was like, it'd be really good is like if I could do this as a duet with an actual country singer. That'd be really cool. So I put out some feelers to some of my friends, and I was like, who do you think is really cool right now? Who do you think is really great? And Mackenzie's name came up, and I reached out and we started talking. I was like, hey, like just shot in the dark, do you want to try this out? And she got back to me right away, and she was like, this is so sick. Like I love this song. I can feel it, and like it's perfectly in my range, and like this whole thing. So it was one of those like cosmic ties where you're like, this is just gonna work out, and this is great, and this is it was kind of a leap for me creatively, because I hadn't really done any of that music before. But to have the validation of her being like, yo, I make country music and this is cool, I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. So yeah, the version, I don't know when this interview is dropping, but the version that we have together is like, it's so special to me, and it's exactly how I envision this whole project sort of sounding. So to have it come to life is like really special. I'm stoked for everyone to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. Comes out November 3rd, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So excited to hear it. Do you think you guys will make any more music together?
I mean, I hope so. I think she's crazy talented. And I mean, the Canada tie is always nice too. It's like Canadians, we always joke about like, oh, we're so much nicer than everybody, which I think has changed. I think that's actually changed like fully. Not to throw shit at Mackenzie. She's a lovely human being and seems lovely. I've only met her virtually. I'm meeting her for the first time in person, I think tomorrow or the day after, which I'm stoked about. So I'll report back, so let you know how that goes, and then maybe we'll make some more tunes together.
All right, sounds good. Okay, we asked some questions to some of your fans, and they want to know when your next tour is and if you're coming to the US.
Hell yeah. My next tour, we're in the process of doing Asia and Europe now, and I don't know when those will land. Those are happening soon. And US is definitely on the horizon as well. I don't know if I can announce anything yet, but there is 1000% so many talks about it, to the point where I'm getting tired of talking about it and I just want to do it. So yes, that is all coming down the pipe. So don't stress. I will be in your city very soon.
Okay, perfect. We're so glad. Okay, just out of curiosity, were you good at math growing up? Because a lot of your songs have numbers in them.
Oh, so cliche. I love it. Oh, bro, I'm so cliche. I just count and I spell in my songs, and people are like, the internet's like, good. We love spelling. I was okay at math. I was like it's funny because like I'm gonna open this interview up saying I was not like, school wasn't meant for me, but that's just because it was really boring for me. Like I never had to apply myself to do okay, which was enough to pass. So like I was always like a 72 student, like a B minus, and that was good. That was good enough for me. So math did not stray far from that until we got into like functions and calculus, and I was like, oh, just end my life. I was like, no way. I was like, what do you mean you got to do the brackets before the thing and then the x go? I was like, no, that's not for me. I was like, I will never use this again unless you see a song with that. Unless you see like a song about long division or something, then maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, C's get degrees, so.
Hell yeah.
Okay, this is coming from a fan. She wants to know what your favorite Nikki Zephania song is, or your favorite Taylor Swift song or album.
My favorite Nicki song. I just hang on. I'm gonna have to give you a title. One sec. I just did it the other day because it's a live version of one of her songs. Where is it? I have it here. Low Key, Live at the Wiltern by Nicki, and my favorite Taylor Swift song is Wildest Dreams, for sure, without a doubt. Yeah.
Great answers, great answers. So then did you listen to the new 1989 Taylor's version?
I did, and every Swifty's gonna hate me, but I'm diehard. I'm serious. Every version except for Wildest Dreams and Blank Space and Out of the Woods are great, but those three don't. Like you can't have the angst of a 22-year-old, however old she was, and sing those songs anymore. Like I totally appreciate that she like did the thing, whatever, but yeah, like I mean, I don't know. Taylor Swift's got enough money. I'm just gonna stream the originals. Like she's chilling.
I sometimes am on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite song to cover and why?
Good question. Today, it's Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan. I love singing it. It's a great range for me. I think it's, one of the best songs written in the last chunk of time. I don't know what measurement of time. I love that one. I love singing Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. That's an obvious one. What else do I like singing? I do Delicate in the set right now by Taylor, and I like that one. It's easy. It's just nice. Everyone sings it, and if you're diehard, you sing the 1, 2, 3, let's and I'm like, okay, that's great. And it's funny, I posted a video the other day, and it was in, where were we? It was like a really small show, and we were in, I think, Hamilton, Ontario, which is like just outside of Toronto. And there's 250 people there, or something like that. Absolutely jammed, and everyone was so stoked. They're having the best time, and then that song came on, and I held up my hands. And if you go to my TikTok, you can watch the video. But I held up my hands to be like 1, 2, 3, let's go in the Delicate thing, and one person said it, and it's so funny that we caught it on video because it's literally just like this, like 1, 2, 3, and I was like, I absolutely died. It was so good.
That is so funny. Just one. Hey, one's better than zero.
Exactly. Imagine like nobody says it. Like I was so glad, and I want her to identify herself because I was like, "Yo, you crushed it," but nobody's come forward yet.
Yeah, props to her. Okay, what was the most challenging part of the process from like working on writing your songs to getting on stage, and how did you overcome that?
Good question. Most challenging part. I think it changes all the time. Like I think like everything's scary until you do it, and then you're like, oh, okay, it wasn't that bad. Like it was okay. Like I got through it, or this sucked and this was great. I think the transition from being in the background of things as a producer and as a dance music producer and as a ghost producer before all that, and then learning to sing and being like, do people care about what I sound like? That was pretty scary. But that was a couple years ago now. I think that was 2020-ish that I decided, I was like, let's just try this out and figure this out. But I think what I held on to was the authenticity and like the vulnerability of the songs. Is like, even if I'm not the best singer, and even if I didn't have the best tone or the best range or whatever it was, or the best pitch, like I always knew that my songwriting would at least be me. And I think that's what people are looking for. I think they're looking for human connection. So I've at least always been authentic with that. But that comes with its own set of like boundaries as well. It was scary being like, yeah, for sure, I'm just gonna tell you about all of my ex relationships and all of my like shortcomings as a human being. And having people resonate with it was really, really cool, and opened my eyes a lot into like, I guess the value that I put on music. Because before I was always just such a passive listener. Like making music, I was like, it got to a point where it felt a little bit like a commodity to me, like a little bit. And I know it sounds kind of ridiculous and like strange, especially like creating music. But then when I started singing the music, I started appreciating it more. Like I started understanding like, oh, this is more than just a song. This is more than just like a way to make a living. This is more than just a way to play shows and to meet people and travel. It's like, it really just connects humans. And like, it's a way to say things for people who can't find the words to say them. I'll give you a small anecdote. This is kind of an aside, but I wrote a song called Matthew about my old brother who passed away in 2008. And It was horrible. It was a horrible experience, and going through that, I just repressed it and never talked about it. And my dad, who has been in a ton of bands like growing up, and he traveled all through Australia. That's where he's from. Said he tried to write a ton of songs about it and couldn't do it. And as soon as I wrote that song and showed him that, he's like, I've been trying to say that for so long and I didn't know how to say it. And that gave me so much, just hearing that, because it's like, as artists and as songwriters and as I guess members of this like global community, it's like, if you can help somebody express themselves, or if you can resonate with somebody and make them feel better or worse, or feel something, like, I mean, that's the goal. Like, we're all just trying to connect on that level, and that gave me more than, or that feeling, I guess, gives me more than anything now. It's just like, how does this make everyone feel, and how does it connect us all?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. That's super, super beautiful. Okay. This next one's also from a fan. They want to say like congratulations on your engagement, and they want to know if you're gonna be singing at your own wedding, and if you have like a song that you're singing there.
Bro, everyone asks, like, it's a really common question, and I'm like, how uncomfortable would that be? I'm
Yeah.
like, will you marry me? And then I like get on the thing and sing one of my, like, an original song. Well, there's absolutely no, like, you couldn't. There's nothing anybody could say to me to make me sing at my own wedding.
Okay.
My my biggest fear in general is like people putting me on the spot in like just generic social settings and being like, can you sing this song? I'm like, it's the most uncomfortable thing ever, because no one wants to listen to you. It's like, you could be Adele, and like if Adele starts singing it like a birthday party, you're like, oh cool, and then you're like, okay, we're all just sitting here, like, she doesn't have a mic, people are talking over there, people are eating. It's like, it's weird, it's so strange, like, it's just so super uncomfortable. I was at a wedding last summer, and somebody asked me to sing, and everyone's hammer drunk, and somebody asked me to sing, because it was on my fiance's birthday, and somebody asked me to sing her a song, and then after they asked me to sing happy birthday, and I was like, am I, like, what is this, like, what, I was like, what is happening here? And then somebody put a mic in my face, and they like pushed me up on stage, and they grabbed me and like dragged me up there, and then I was standing there, I was like, well, I gotta do it now, like, I guess I gotta. And it was so uncomfortable, because like, everyone's like, I don't really want this, like, I don't want to listen to this, and I was like, I definitely don't want to be here, but then you got to go through it. So I will not be singing at my wedding for fear, for everyone else's sake.
I totally get it. I totally get it. That's so funny. I guess if you're a musician, everybody just assumes that you're gonna sing all the time whenever they want you to.
Yeah, like, I'm not a jukebox, like, I don't I gotta
Good
warm
job.
up. I'm tired, I don't sound good if I'm not warmed up. It's like, I'm not gonna sing a song just like a cappella into a mic.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, a couple more. If you have you written any songs for other artists? And if yes, are you allowed to share who and what songs and why you decided not to do them yourself?
Good question. I mean, that's how I started off. Is I used to write a bunch of dance music. It was mostly instrumental stuff. I wrote music for, I'm trying to think of DJs that would be relevant now, like Afrojack and Dimitri Vegas and like Mike, and all these lovely huge DJs. And at the time, I didn't really know what the music industry was, so I never got credited with a lot of it, which is so funny, because like, I was just like, oh, it's cool and I'm making money and like this whole thing, and then I realized like later on, I was like, oh, they're like playing these songs and making money from them. I was like, at the time I was like 18, and I was like, this is sick. So I did all that, and that was really cool, and I learned a lot. And then I was in a duo for a while, and I produced a lot of songs under that duo's Elijah Woods and Jamie Fine, and she was singing all of them. I was just being a producer on that sort of thing, so that was interesting. I learned a lot through that. And then I worked with an artist named Jessia. I co-wrote and produced a song called I'm Not Pretty, which did really well. And what else have I done? A bunch of other smaller artists, but I think since my stuff has started doing well enough that I don't have to, I've really been focusing on that, which is so nice. And I think every time I get in with an artist now, I don't know, maybe this would be insight, maybe this is interesting, I don't know, maybe this is really boring. writing songs with with other artists is the best and the worst thing I think ever, because when you get in with somebody and it's like going on a blind date. It's like you go on a blind date and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, this is incredible, like we're having so much fun, we're connected, whatever. But 95% of the time you get in there and you're like, we're not going to do this again, like, but we got another 4 hours, we got to try to figure out a song, and then the song goes nowhere. And I did so many of those sessions that I was just like, I'm good for a while. Like if I get in a session with people, it's like I know that I have a direction and where I want to go, and I'm gonna see if I can grab like different things. And finding a place for the songs to live is always really tough. So I think I maybe got a little bit discouraged on it at a younger age, and that's predominantly why I started singing. I was like, nobody's picking up these songs, so I was like, hell yeah, I'll just do them myself. And yeah, now we're here. So like, I mean, I'm more open to it now, and I think that's more of a when I'm tired of doing the artist thing and I don't want to tour and I don't want to do all that sort of stuff, it's like I'll move back towards that. But for me, it's all about the songs. It's like, are the songs good? Are the songs flowing? Are we having fun? Is it exciting still?
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. Okay. This one's kind of funny, but what 3 emojis best describe your sound?
3 emojis. Oh, which ones? I like, hang on. I gotta go through my recents. I like this melting one.
Aha! I love that one too.
I like that one. I like the hot one, the like red face.
Oh, he's like, huh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then this guy.
Aha. Okay, I like that one. Those are really good picks. A plus, A plus.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Last one. What would you like fans to take away from your music?
I hope it makes you feel more seen than you did before you listened to it. I hope that you can express a little piece of yourself and latch on to something that makes you feel more you. I know all I strive to do is to create something that makes me feel something, so I hope that can be reflected in whatever you're feeling when you listen to the music. So I hope that hope you can connect to it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's perfect. Well said. Thank you so, so much. I really, really appreciate you hanging out with me today.
I'm Elijah Woods, and please do not forget to subscribe to Young Entertainment Mag.